Every self-help book you've ever read has lied to you. They tell you that if you want to change your life, you first have to change yourself. They tell you to force a positive attitude, build unbreakable self-discipline, and banish your bad habits. But Barbara Sher opens her masterpiece, Wishcraft, How to Get What You Really Want, by burning that entire philosophy to the ground. She looks at the bruised, exhausted victims of modern hustle culture and says, I wrote it for people like me, people who were born without any of the virtues that made Horatio Alger great, and who have given up all hope of ever developing them. Can you persevere? I can't. There is no diet of any kind, physical, emotional, or financial, that I haven't fallen off by Wednesday if I started it on Monday. Sher introduces a concept that is incredibly simple, yet completely radical. She redefines what it actually means to win in this life. She writes, nobody ever told us what winning is. I have my own definition. And it's a very simple, very radical one. Winning to me means getting what you want. Not what your father and mother wanted for you. Not what you think you can realistically get in this world, but what you want. Your wish, your fantasy, your dream. She argues that your desires are not frivolous luxuries. They are biological necessities. What you want is the literal map of who you are. Your dearest wish comes straight from your core, loaded with vital information about your unique genius. Chapter 1 is an autopsy of how we lost our authentic selves. Sher states that every single human being is born into this world as a unique kind of genius. A child does not look at a box of crayons and think, am I qualified to color this? They just grab a red crayon and draw because it is their natural, uncorrupted response to the world. But then society steps in. We are taught to trade our genius for safety. We learn to suppress what we actually want in order to become what we should be. We are conditioned to think that our true desires are childish, unrealistic, or selfish. Sher forces us to confront this psychological tragedy by asking a series of deeply uncomfortable, reflective questions designed to unearth our earliest memories. 1. Were you seen as someone with a unique intellect? 2. Were you truly encouraged to follow your dreams? This is where the commentary shifts into a direct attack on standard motivational culture. Sher shares a letter from a 52-year-old reader who writes, Winston Churchill said, success is moving from failure to failure with a positive attitude. By Winston's standard, I should be on the most successful list. I've run out of positivity. I've given up. Sher's response to this reader is legendary and completely flips standard self-help wisdom on its head. She says, Winston Churchill was a great orator, but personally, I've never understood why everybody tells everybody else to be positive. When you are, you are. When you're not, you're not. You can't give your feelings orders. Nothing important in this world depends on a positive attitude. Ask yourself this. Did you ever raise a kid, hold a job, get through school? Did you do it with a positive attitude? Or did you do it with any attitude you woke up with that day? This is a liberating truth. You do not need to feel happy, confident, or aligned to build your dream. You can build a magnificent life while feeling terrified, anxious, and deeply flawed. If we are all born geniuses, why are so many of us stuck in unfulfilling lives, feeling completely unmotivated? In Chapter 2, Sher delivers her most powerful, liberating insight. Your failure is not a defect of your character or a lack of willpower. It is simply a defect of your environment. She writes that we have a deeply toxic cultural myth of the lone hero, the idea that a truly strong person can succeed completely on their own, by sheer grit, in total isolation. Sher completely rejects this. She argues that human beings are like seeds. If you drop a premium, genetically perfect apple seed onto a cold concrete floor, it will never grow. It doesn't matter how hard the seed tries or how positive its attitude is. It lacks the soil, water, and sunlight it needs to survive. Sher presents real-world examples of people who completely transformed their lives, not by fixing their bad habits, but by changing their surroundings and getting concrete help. Cindy Fox, who was stuck working as a standard waitress and transformed her life to become a professional commercial pilot. Peter Johnson, a long-haul truck driver who successfully transitioned into a dairy farmer. They didn't achieve these massive leaps through solitary self-improvement or magical thinking. They achieved them because they had a success team, an environment of human beings who provided hard information, strategic planning, accountability, and physical resources. Sher leaves us with a profound rule for survival that sets up the entire rest of the book. It wasn't until I gave up on ever fixing me and tried to improvise a set of aids that would work for me anyway, because I wasn't going to change, that my life started rolling. You won't have to change yourself because 1, it can't be done, and 2, you're fine the way you are. The true craft of success is not about changing who you are. It is about building a practical system of aids, contacts, and strategies that protect your unique genius from isolation and inner resistance, allowing you to win exactly as you are. Part 1 of Wishcraft leaves us with a firm foundation. Your wishes are valid, your flaws are normal, and your lack of willpower is a structural problem, not a personal failure. You do not need to fix yourself to start winning. In our next video, we move into Part 2, Wishing, where we will explore Chapter 3 and Chapter 4. We will dive deep into Sher's practical exercises, style search, and goal search to figure out exactly what your unique genius actually wants out of this life, even if you currently have absolutely no clue what your dream is.